Hello and welcome to the weekly Wind Spirit card pull. And last week's wind was Tate, the wind about listening with your heart and making decisions based on how it feels when you close your eyes and check in and see, okay, do I move one step in this direction? Or sometimes we move one step in that direction and then we find out that that's not the way we should go. So let's send Tate home and thank Tate from the bottom of our hearts. And being human, sometimes I forget to send these winds home. And then all of a sudden I have all of these winds and it gets really kind of chaotic and swirling around me. So just a little tip, when you're working with the winds of spirit, make sure you invite them in, thank them, send them home. And each week we pull a wind. Let's see what our wind is for this week. So the wind that we got for this week is the south-southeast intercardinal wind. That is the no wind, the doldrums. And the doldrums are a place below the equator that were identified by, well, they were first put on the compass map by Aristotle about these two places where the wind doesn't move. And what does that mean? When the wind doesn't move, it means that, well, for long periods of time, if the wind doesn't move, things will cease to exist. Food sources will dry over. There will be scum over the ponds. You won't be able to fish. It will just be a really tragic situation. However, in our life cycles, there's times when we're finishing one cycle and there's a gap between one cycle and the next. When I was doing a hembleche once for 3 days on the mountain, one of the things that I noticed was there was this moment in time when everything stopped and reset. And I don't know if it was because I was delirious or if that's an actual space, but there's this gap. And sometimes this no win situation could be when a relationship ends, when somebody you love dies. So that's interesting because today I'm going to a funeral. And it doesn't mean that there's nothing going to happen. It just means that the wind isn't moving. And so it's really a time for a pause. Let's see what it says in the book about no wind. It's at the very end. So the doldrums. When you need a break, invoke this pause, the energy of stillness or death. And shamans know that in our lifetime, there's many times we'll die. That you look at nature, and in the cycle of nature, every fall, depending on where you are, the fall, even in the desert, if you pay close attention to the fall, you'll see that things die, things come to an end, they rot and then they decay. And from that decay creates the carbon dioxide and the things that we need in order to re-inspire life again in the spring. And if the wind leaves your sails and you find yourself stranded in the east, it's time to pause and reflect. As you drift, ask Spirit for help. You extinguish old, long-held ideas. Now is not the time to pray and request a new vision. Drifting presents an opportunity to enter higher realms of consciousness. Spirit's blessing is essential for all of your plans. And when the book first came out, the first year, I got no wind was my card for the year. And it was really surprising to me, like, wow, this book is finally birthed and there's no wind. Well, ask any parent after this birthing cycle, there's a time of pause and reflect, and then tending to the life that's in front of you without creating any big new windstorms or any great new plans. It's a good time to stop and reflect. So this is the wind for this week, no wind, and may you enjoy the peace. I'm Renee, and I'm the Practical Shaman, and this is the weekly Wind Spirit card. If you find this interesting, you can go over to Amazon and buy Winds of Spirit, or you can also join us over at the Wind Clan on Facebook. All right. Also, I do a weekly podcast called The Shaman's Cave with Sandra Ingerman, and my website is thepracticalshaman.com. Hope you're having a windless day.